pro mogul skier Dylan Walczyk.
Breckenridge ski instructor Michael Schaefer.
You're watching Bump Drills.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bump Drills on the Steezy Joe Network. Today we're going to learn mogul swing turns on the flats. This is an essential technique for any prospective bump skier. Mogul swing turns are the single greatest tool to progress your bump skiing. Great bump skiing starts on the flats. With a quality mogul swing turn on the flats, we can practice everything from our balance point, our posture, our pole plants, to the shape and timing of our turn, all in a safe and low impact environment. Also, stay tuned to the end for a special announcement.
Please note, folks, there's some prerequisite drills that will increase your chances of success with mogul swing turns. The good news is that we've already made those videos. Take a look at our active ski stance, the ICO drill, long radius retraction, bracage, edge set release. We will use elements from each.
So let's draw out the basic phases of the mogul swing turn. We feel it's also important to translate what each phase correlates to in the actual moguls to give you a better understanding of why mogul swing turns are so important. We always want to make a mogul swing turn feel as realistic to our mogul skiing as possible. So here's our mogul swing turn. Here's the arc. Here's the top of our turn, the apex, and the bottom of our turn. In the top of our turn phase, we want to be setting lateral direction towards the apex, just as we do in our long radius retraction and ICO drills. This is, in our opinion, what defines a carve versus a pivot in a mogul turn. In the bumps, this is where we'll be skiing towards the bump and contacting the face with the tips of our skis, not the outsides of our boots. Remember, a turn is defined by a change of direction, thus requiring lateral movement. A pivot is not a turn because it does not change the direction of our center of mass traveling down the hill. As we enter the apex, we want to make sure that our hips are square to the fall line and we begin our retraction. In the moguls, this is where we'll be riding and balancing through the face of the bump, beginning our absorption. In the bottom of our turn, our goal is to receive the force generated by our turn, control it, and redirect that energy towards our next top of turn. The knee angle and edge control from our edge set release drill will really help us to control that energy efficiently. In the bumps, this is the finish of our absorption and the redirection to start the whole process over again.
All right, guys, let's head down to some flatter terrain where we're going to see some full speed and slow-mo visuals of the mogul swing turn, and we're going to get to learn what all that tech talk is all about. Followed by some do's and don'ts for troubleshooting.
Okay, so we see Dylan getting into his active ski stance and starting to make short radius swing turns. Let's slow this down and take a closer look. There are a couple of important things to notice here. First, the hips stay square the entire time. Dylan never lets the hips get a mind of their own. He locks them down and they stay both perpendicular to the fall line and parallel to the slope. This is job one. Second, notice how Dylan receives force at the end of the turn, absorbs it into his center, and uses that energy to initiate his next turn. Using that energy, it's easy for Dylan to project his body towards the next apex in the top of turn. This is what he refers to as setting lateral direction. You should know this feeling from the projection phase of the long radius retraction drill. And so you know what comes next, retracting the inside half. Retracting the inside half ensures that the hips are square, moving through the bump corridor at our apex, and helps us bend the ski, giving it much greater edge grip and much tighter radius. This increased edge grip results in a pressure spike that Dylan absorbs using the skills we worked on in the absorption drill, and his springs get compressed into his core. But all the while, notice how quiet the upper body remains, even as he performs pole touches in rhythm with the turns. This is really putting all the pieces together now. Now let's take a look at this from a couple different angles at full speed. Okay, let's take a look at some bad examples. In this first demo, Dylan begins by being too far forward and too stiff. This results in a loss of mobility in the legs and lower body and leads to a tripping sensation. Now he's too far back, resulting in a lack of control because he's no longer able to flex the front of the ski. To fix this, remember to find and set your active ski stance before each section that you ski and set your balance point perpendicular to the pitch of the hill. In this next example, we see Dylan essentially doing a wiggle, or as it's known in Canada, schnoodling. The turns are very quick, but lack a good finish. To fix this, you gotta get back to basics. Find flatter terrain, get in your active skiing stance, and ensure that your balance is on the ball of your foot. Find your perpendicular, and then be sure to use the fundamentals you learned in your edge set release drill to define a strong, controlled finish to the end of your turn. In this next example, we see Dylan doing the dreaded pivot. Notice how there is no lateral direction change. The skis twist, but the body moves downhill without any lateral direction. The way to fix this is to set lateral direction, like we do in our long radius retraction and ICO drills, to create a strong top of turn. And be sure to ski all the way to the apex of the turn, no cutting corners. In the next bad example, we see a very common mistake, banking. Notice how the hips are no longer parallel to the slope, and the inside shoulder is leaning into the hill. Oh, and watch this guy in the green jacket. That's a perfect example of banking. To fix this, first thing we're going to do is try a few sections of Mogul swing turns using the T posture variation. Remember, when self-coaching with the T posture, try to keep those arms level, no flying around like an airplane, and be sure to keep those hips square. In this last bad example, we see Dylan struggling with his timing. Sometimes he's too fast, sometimes too slow, sometimes he sporadically makes random sudden changes. The key to great mogul skiing and great mogul swing turns is creating flow. With good top of turn, we set ourselves up to receive pressure in the belly of the turn, and we want that feeling of pressure to pulse in a rhythm of the bumps. We are bump skiers now, and we need to flow in the rhythm that they create. The solution to this problem, oftentimes, is just counting in your head or out loud, 1, 2, 1, 2. But you can also use any cue that helps you find that rhythm. I sometimes use retract, 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 retract to signal when I'm retracting my inside half, and that gives me the timing that I need to hold a steady flow.
Hey guys, I hope everyone found something helpful in that video to help you on your journey to ripping bumps.
Hey, don't forget to tell them about the special announcement.
That's right. So this spring, we're looking at doing 2 4-day adult camps in May in Colorado. You can sign up at our website. It's in the description below. We're going to try and keep the group sizes pretty small so there's a limited amount of spaces available because we want to make sure that everyone gets really good attention on the hill. And if you've ever trained with me before, you know I like to really get into it and see those breakthroughs. So hopefully we'll see you in the spring on the snow.
Come on out, guys. We want to ski with you. Nice job. All right.
Woo!